Why the media hates when older men date younger women. You've probably come across sensational headlines like "Older man and his illicit relationship with a young woman," or seen a famous actress relentlessly scrutinized just for dating someone 20 years her senior. Why does this age gap dynamic set off such a frenzy? Is it really about morality, or is there something deeper at play? In today's video, we're diving into the media's obsession with age gap relationships, exposing how sensationalism drives their coverage and why it matters. Buckle up as we unravel the truth behind the headlines and reveal why this topic seems to stir so much controversy. Prepare to see media bias in a whole new light. The media's role in shaping public opinion. The media has long held a powerful influence over public opinion, shaping how society views various aspects of life, including relationships. Mass media has advanced to the point where the entire world feels condensed into a single smartphone. The speed at which information spreads is staggering, and once something goes viral, there's no taking it back. In popular culture, tabloids and news stories, age gap relationships between older men and younger women are often sensationalized and criticized. The media tends to emphasize the age difference, often portraying the older man as a predatory figure and the younger woman as a naive or opportunistic partner. This narrative plays into societal fears and prejudices, reinforcing the idea that such relationships are inherently unequal or unhealthy. For example, in films and television shows, age gap relationships are frequently depicted as transactional or exploitative. The older man is often portrayed as using his wealth, power, or status to attract a younger partner, while the younger woman is shown as being in the relationship for superficial reasons, such as money or fame. This portrayal perpetuates a one-dimensional view of these relationships, ignoring the possibility that they could be based on mutual respect, love, and shared interests. What do you think about the media's reaction to this type of relationship? Comment, "I'm okay," or "I hate that," to share your thoughts. In the world of tabloids and celebrity news, the focus on age gap relationships is even more pronounced. Headlines often highlight the age difference as the most important aspect of the relationship. The media's focus on the age gap also tends to overshadow other aspects of the relationship, such as the personalities, values, and experiences of the individuals involved. This reductive portrayal can lead to a skewed public perception, where the relationship is viewed solely through the lens of the age difference rather than as a complex and nuanced connection between two people. The media's portrayal of age gap relationships is often driven by sensationalism and the need to attract readers with eye-catching headlines. In today's digital age, where clickbait headlines dominate the news cycle, age gap relationships provide a ready-made topic for generating controversy and drawing in viewers. Media outlets know that stories about older men dating younger women are likely to provoke strong reactions, making them prime material for sensational coverage. Sensationalism in the media often involves exaggerating or distorting the facts to create a more dramatic narrative. In the case of age gap relationships, this can mean focusing on the most salacious or controversial aspects of the relationship, while ignoring the more mundane realities. For example, a news story might zero in on the age difference between a couple, framing it as a scandal, while ignoring the fact that the couple has been in a stable, loving relationship for many years. This kind of coverage not only misrepresents the relationship, but also reinforces negative stereotypes. The constant repetition of these sensationalized narratives can lead to a kind of echo chamber effect, where the public begins to see all age gap relationships in the same light, regardless of the individual circumstances. Clickbait headlines are another tool that the media uses to draw attention to age gap relationships. These headlines are designed to be provocative, playing on the reader's emotions to encourage them to click on the article. However, once the reader clicks on the headline, they often find that the content of the article is less dramatic than the headline suggested. This bait-and-switch tactic can leave readers with a distorted view of the relationship, as the sensational headline is often what sticks in their mind, rather than the more nuanced content of the article. The double standard: how society judges age gap relationships. When it comes to age gap relationships, particularly those involving older men and younger women, society often exhibits a glaring double standard. This double standard manifests in the way that older men are judged more harshly than older women, and in the stigmatization of the younger women involved. The criticism is not just about the age difference itself, but about the perceived motives and power dynamics at play, revealing deeper insecurities and societal anxieties. One of the most pronounced aspects of the double standard is how society views older men in age gap relationships compared to older women. While older women dating younger men are often celebrated as cougars who are confident and defying societal expectations, older men in similar situations are frequently subjected to scrutiny and criticism. The older man is often portrayed as either clinging to his youth or exploiting his financial or social status to attract a younger partner. This portrayal is rooted in a cultural narrative that views men as primarily driven by physical attraction, while women are seen as seeking emotional connection or financial stability. This double standard is evident in the language used to describe these relationships. An older woman dating a younger man is often seen as empowered and sexually liberated, while an older man is seen as predatory or immature. This reflects a broader societal discomfort with the idea of men retaining their sexual desirability as they age, while women are expected to diminish in attractiveness and relevance. The result is a skewed perspective that frames older men in age gap relationships as anomalies or even threats to social norms. Younger women in these relationships are not spared from judgment either. They are often labelled with derogatory terms such as gold diggers or trophy wives, implying that their interest in the relationship is purely financial or superficial. This stigma reduces their role in the relationship to that of a passive participant, ignoring the possibility that they might be genuinely attracted to their older partner's wisdom, experience, or emotional maturity. The underlying reasons for societal criticism of age gap relationships often stem from deeper issues such as jealousy and the shifting power dynamics as women age. For many, the sight of an older man with a younger woman can evoke feelings of insecurity or resentment, particularly among those who feel that their own romantic prospects have diminished with age. This is especially true in a culture that places a high value on youth and physical attractiveness, often leaving older women feeling marginalized or overlooked. As women age, they may experience a shift in power dynamics, where they find themselves competing with younger women for attention and affection. This can lead to feelings of jealousy or resentment towards both the older men who choose younger partners and the younger women who are seen as benefiting from their youth and beauty. In this context, societal criticism of age gap relationships can be understood as a way of policing these dynamics, reinforcing the idea that older men should act their age and seek partners who are closer to them in age. Age gap relationships, particularly those involving older men, can be seen as a challenge to these evolving norms, provoking a backlash from those who feel threatened by the changing landscape of gender and power. Let me tell you a few stories about how some celebrities have been affected by the media. Society, especially women, often reacts negatively when men date younger women, and frankly, it's a bit absurd. Just look at the media's treatment of Leonardo DiCaprio, Johnny Depp, Eddie Murphy, and Jim Carrey. These men have been relentlessly criticized simply because their partners are younger. The media goes into overdrive, particularly with Leonardo DiCaprio. He's currently dating a 19-year-old, and I understand why the media is making a big deal out of it. They need to sell stories, and nothing grabs attention like a sensational headline. But what really gets me is how many people are drawn to this kind of content. The media churns out these shocking stories because they know it will provoke a reaction, and that reaction is what keeps the cycle going. Sure, DiCaprio is a celebrity, so his life is always going to be newsworthy. But the focus on the age gap in his relationships is what's truly disturbing. I've spent some time digging into past articles and public opinions on celebrities dating younger women, particularly in DiCaprio's case. What stands out is the narrative that these men are seeking power, not genuine attraction. It's almost as if the media deliberately overlooks the idea that a relationship could be based on mutual attraction. Instead, they harp on about manipulation and power dynamics. Honestly, It blows my mind. But I'm curious. What do you think? Share your thoughts below, because this whole situation really makes you wonder about the real reasons behind the outrage. Johnny Depp, like Leonardo DiCaprio, can't seem to escape the relentless criticism. Every time he dates someone younger, the media pounces, turning it into a scandalous story. The headlines are sensational, designed to stir up controversy and grab attention, and sadly they succeed. I understand that Johnny Depp is a public figure, and his personal life will always be under scrutiny. But what's baffling is how the age gap in his relationships becomes the focal point, as if it's the most shocking thing in the world. What's even more frustrating is the narrative the media spins. They often frame Depp as some sort of villain, claiming his relationships are all about power and control, rather than mutual attraction. It's as if they can't fathom that a younger woman might be genuinely interested in him. The media seems obsessed with painting these relationships in a negative light, completely ignoring the possibility that there could be something more meaningful there. The way they portray Depp and others like him makes you wonder what the real agenda is. Are they really concerned about the age gap, or is there something deeper going on? And of course, to feed the demand for clickbait headlines and massive traffic, celebrities become prime targets for the media. It's almost like they're lying in wait, ready to pounce the second there's a hint of a new relationship. And why? Because they know it will drive traffic, generate buzz, and keep people clicking. Let's face it, the media is a business and controversy sells. They know that the public has an insatiable appetite for scandal, especially when it involves the rich and famous. So, when Depp or any other older male celebrity steps out with a younger woman, it becomes the perfect fodder for sensational stories. The age gap is immediately blown out of proportion, with insinuations that the relationship is somehow inappropriate or manipulative. The narrative is spun in such a way that the older man is cast as the villain, while the younger woman is portrayed as either a victim or a gold digger. It's a story as old as time, but the media keeps recycling it because it works. It grabs attention. But here's the thing. This constant barrage of negativity doesn't just affect the celebrities themselves, it also shapes public perception. When people are bombarded with these sensationalized stories, they start to internalize the idea that there's something inherently wrong with age gap relationships, particularly when it's an older man with a younger woman. It reinforces harmful stereotypes and creates a climate of judgment and suspicion. The media doesn't care about the nuances of these relationships. They care about clicks, views, and ad revenue. So, they continue to churn out these stories, knowing that the public will eat them up. And where does this leave the men who aren't celebrities but who find themselves in similar relationships? They become collateral damage in this media frenzy. They start to worry about how they'll be perceived, not just by strangers but by friends, family, and colleagues. The media's portrayal of age gap relationships creates a ripple effect, spreading fear and doubt among those who are simply trying to live their lives. It's a vicious cycle that keeps feeding itself, all in the name of profit. And at the end of the day, it's not about protecting anyone's interests. It's about keeping the clicks coming. Do you know any stories about age gap relationships that have been media fodder in your country? Share your thoughts and experiences below. Before we get into the next topic, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. This helps the YouTube algorithm recommend our video to a broader audience. We appreciate your support. The historical context of age gap relationships. In many ancient cultures, age gap relationships were the norm rather than the exception. In societies where marriage was often more about social alliances, economic stability, and the continuation of lineage than romantic love, it was common for older men to marry younger women. These marriages were seen as advantageous for both parties. The younger woman would gain security and status, while the older man would ensure his legacy. In ancient Greece, for example, it was typical for men to marry in their 30s after establishing themselves socially and economically, often to women in their late teens or early 20s. This pattern was also observed in many other societies, such as Imperial China and medieval Europe. In many traditional cultures, the age gap was seen as beneficial, due to the belief that older men brought wisdom, experience, and stability to the relationship. The younger woman's role, in turn, was often to bear children and manage the household, with her youth and fertility seen as assets in fulfilling these duties. These cultural norms created a framework in which age gap relationships were not only accepted, but often preferred. In the aristocratic and royal circles of Europe, it was common for kings and nobles to marry much younger women. These unions were often arranged for political or economic reasons, with little regard for the age difference. The youth of the bride was often seen as an advantage, ensuring that she would be able to bear multiple children and continue the family line. Similarly, in many non-Western cultures, arranged marriages with significant age gaps were the norm, reflecting societal structures where marriages were often contracts between families rather than individuals. However, as societies began to modernize and the concept of marriage shifted from a transactional arrangement to a union based on love and personal compatibility, the acceptance of large age gaps in relationships started to wane. In the early 20th century, with the rise of the feminist movement and the increasing emphasis on equality in relationships, age gap marriages began to be scrutinized more closely. The idea that a significant age difference could imply a power imbalance started to gain traction, with critics arguing that these relationships could be inherently exploitative. As society has moved towards more egalitarian views on relationships, the traditional model of an older man with a younger woman has come under increasing scrutiny. In contemporary Western culture, where gender equality is more emphasized, relationships with large age gaps can be viewed with suspicion. There is a tendency to question the motives behind these relationships, often assuming that they are based on superficial qualities or power dynamics rather than genuine connection. The media, in particular, has played a significant role in shaping this narrative, often portraying age gap relationships in a negative light. Coping with social judgment and media scrutiny. For many older men, the criticism isn't just from anonymous online commenters or distant acquaintances, but often comes from close friends, family, and society at large. The media, with its tendency to sensationalize, only adds to the pressure, turning personal relationships into public spectacles. But despite these challenges, many men have successfully maintained fulfilling relationships by developing coping strategies that prioritize emotional well-being and the authenticity of their connection. Coping with the weight of societal judgment requires more than just thick skin. It demands a strong foundation of self-worth. One of the first steps in handling external criticism is to develop a clear understanding of why you're in the relationship and what it brings to your life. Are you with your partner because of shared values, emotional compatibility, or a genuine connection? By focusing on the true reasons behind your relationship, you can create a mental buffer against the negativity that might come your way. It's also essential to cultivate a mindset that prioritizes your own well-being over others' opinions. Remember, those who judge often do so from a place of ignorance or projection of their insecurities. By recognizing this, you can detach from the criticism, viewing it as a reflection of others rather than a reflection of your relationship. Building resilience against social judgment involves more than just mental strategies. It also requires creating a supportive environment. Surrounding yourself with people who understand and respect your choices can make a world of difference. These could be friends who genuinely care about your happiness, family members who value your partner for who they are, or even communities of like-minded individuals who understand the unique dynamics of age gap relationships. It's also crucial to limit exposure to negative media portrayals. The media thrives on sensationalism, often at the expense of nuance and truth. By consciously choosing what to consume and focusing on sources that offer balanced perspectives, you can protect yourself from the emotional toll that comes with constant media scrutiny. Moreover, developing a sense of humor about the situation can be a powerful tool. Being able to laugh at the absurdity of certain media portrayals or the narrow-mindedness of some critics can diffuse tension and allow you to maintain your composure. Finally, remember that resilience is a skill that can be cultivated over time. Every time you choose to focus on the positive aspects of your relationship, you're building emotional strength. Each time you resist the urge to respond to negativity, you're reinforcing your ability to stay centered in your truth. Coping with social judgment and media scrutiny in an age gap relationship is no small feat, but it's far from impossible. By drawing on the experiences of those who have walked this path before, developing psychological strategies that reinforce your self-worth, and building resilience through supportive relationships and selective media consumption, you can navigate these challenges with grace. Ultimately, what matters most is the genuine connection you share with your partner, something that no amount of external criticism can diminish. Let's dive into a deeper issue. Psychological analysis. Why older men are attracted to younger women. When it comes to the attraction between older men and younger women, biology plays a significant role. From an evolutionary standpoint, men have historically been drawn to traits that signal fertility and reproductive potential. Youthfulness is often associated with these traits: health, vitality, and the ability to bear children. This isn't a conscious decision, but rather a deeply ingrained instinct that has been part of human evolution for millennia. In a biological sense, younger women represent the continuation of lineage, which is why many older men might find themselves naturally drawn to them. This attraction isn't about objectifying youth. It's rooted in the very survival mechanisms that have guided human behavior throughout history. Beyond the purely reproductive aspect, there's also the matter of aesthetic appeal. Youth tends to bring with it physical features like smoother skin, a more athletic build, and higher energy levels, all of which can be universally attractive. These traits are often idealized in various cultures, and it's not surprising that men of all ages might find them appealing. However, for older men, who may be grappling with the realities of aging, these characteristics can also symbolize a connection to their own youth and vitality, which they might feel slipping away. This creates a dynamic where the attraction to younger women isn't just about physical appearance, but also about what that youth represents. On a psychological level, the attraction to younger women can be tied to emotional needs and desires. For many older men, being with a younger partner can evoke feelings of rejuvenation and a renewed sense of life. The energy and enthusiasm that younger women often bring into a relationship can be invigorating, providing a stark contrast to the more settled or even complacent dynamics that might exist in relationships with women closer to their own age. This isn't to say that relationships with older women are less fulfilling, but rather that the dynamics are different, and for some men, the vibrancy of a younger partner can feel like a breath of fresh air. There's also the aspect of admiration and ego reinforcement. Younger women, who might look up to their older partners for their wisdom, experience, and stability, can offer a sense of validation and importance. This can be particularly appealing for men who may feel undervalued or overlooked in other areas of their lives. The admiration and respect they receive from a younger partner can boost their self-esteem and reinforce their sense of masculinity. It's not just about feeling desired, it's about feeling relevant and appreciated, which are powerful motivators in any relationship. Moreover, there's the element of a sense of renewal. Being with a younger partner can make older men feel younger themselves, as they often engage in activities and conversations that they might not have with someone closer to their own age. This connection to youth can be a way for them to reconnect with parts of themselves that they might have neglected or lost touch with over the years. It's not just about avoiding the realities of aging, but about finding a partner who can bring out the best in them, someone who challenges them to stay active, curious, and engaged with life. Despite the natural and psychological explanations for these attractions, society often casts a skeptical eye on age gap relationships, particularly when the man is significantly older. Common stereotypes suggest that these relationships are built on power imbalances, with older men allegedly seeking to control or manipulate younger women. While it's true that power dynamics can exist in any relationship, the blanket assumption that all age gap relationships are predatory or exploitative overlooks the complexity and diversity of human relationships. It's important to recognize that many of these relationships are built on mutual respect, shared interests, and genuine affection. The idea that an older man is simply using a younger woman for her youth, or that a younger woman is only interested in a man's wealth or status, is reductive. These stereotypes fail to consider the individual personalities, values, and emotional connections that often drive such relationships. In reality, people enter relationships for a myriad of reasons, and age is just one factor among many. The positive aspects of age gap relationships. Age gap relationships often receive more criticism than appreciation, but those who are in such relationships know that there are significant benefits that the public frequently overlooks. One of the key positive aspects is the mutual growth that can occur between partners. When an older man and a younger woman come together, they bring different perspectives, experiences, and energies to the relationship. This can create a dynamic that fosters both personal and mutual development. The older partner may offer wisdom, stability, and a broader life perspective, while the younger partner can introduce new ideas, enthusiasm, and a fresh outlook on life. These differences can complement each other beautifully, leading to a balanced and enriching relationship. Another benefit is the complementary energy that each partner brings to the table. In many age gap relationships, the vitality and exuberance of the younger partner can be a source of rejuvenation for the older one. Conversely, the calmness and experience of the older partner can provide a grounding influence on the younger one. This exchange of energies can result in a relationship that is not only emotionally fulfilling, but also vibrant and dynamic. Rather than being a relationship where one partner teaches and the other learns, it becomes a collaborative journey where both partners grow together, each drawing from the strengths of the other. Moreover, the balance of wisdom and youth often found in these relationships can lead to a more harmonious connection. The older partner's life experience can offer valuable guidance and support, helping to navigate challenges that might arise. At the same time, the younger partner's curiosity and openness to new experiences can encourage the older partner to explore new interests and maintain an active, engaged lifestyle. This blend of stability and spontaneity can lead to a relationship that is both secure and exciting, offering the best of both worlds. Despite the negative stereotypes often associated with age gap relationships, there are numerous examples of successful partnerships that defy the odds. In the public eye, relationships like that of French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte Macron, who have a significant age difference, serve as a powerful example of how love and mutual respect can transcend age. Their relationship has weathered public scrutiny and has proven to be a stable and supportive partnership, challenging the notion that age gap relationships are doomed to fail. Another noteworthy example is that of actor Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, who have a 25-year age gap. Despite the challenges that any marriage might face, their relationship has remained strong over the years, characterized by mutual respect and a deep connection. These examples demonstrate that age gap relationships can not only survive but thrive, offering a counter-narrative to the often negative portrayals in the media. Even outside of the spotlight, there are countless stories of age gap relationships that have stood the test of time. These couples often cite mutual respect, shared values, and a strong emotional connection as the keys to their success. These relationships prove that love and compatibility are not bound by age, and that with the right foundation, age gap couples can build a life together that is both fulfilling and lasting. In a world where age gap relationships are frequently met with skepticism or outright disapproval, it's essential to create a counter-narrative that highlights the positive aspects of these partnerships. It's time to challenge the notion that these relationships are inherently problematic or unbalanced. Instead, let's celebrate the unique strengths that age gap relationships can bring to the table. For older men who find themselves in relationships with younger women, it's important to embrace and appreciate what makes their partnership special, rather than succumbing to societal pressures or negative stereotypes. Success and happiness in a relationship are not determined by the ages of the partners, but by the quality of the connection, the shared values, and the mutual respect that exists between them. Age gap relationships can offer a rich and rewarding experience for both partners, providing opportunities for growth, learning, and deep emotional fulfillment. By embracing these relationships for what they are, partnerships based on love, respect, and shared goals, it's possible to redefine what success looks like in the context of an age gap relationship. The media thrives on headlines that provoke strong reactions, and what better way to do that than to tap into deep-seated cultural anxieties about age, power dynamics, and gender roles. Age is just a number when the bond between two people is genuine. Yet, the media paints these relationships as controversial, often overlooking the positive aspects that come with an age gap. The wisdom and life experience of an older partner can complement the vitality and fresh perspective of a younger one, creating a dynamic that's enriching for both. If you're in an age gap relationship and have faced criticism or felt the weight of societal judgment, it's important to remember that these opinions are just noise. They don't define the quality of your relationship, nor do they dictate your happiness. The most crucial thing is the understanding, respect, and love that you share with your partner. Focus on what truly matters, the bond you've built, and don't let outside voices undermine that. If you found this discussion relatable, or if you've ever faced similar challenges, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share your experiences in the comments below. And if this video resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. Share it with others who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Together, let's challenge the narratives that don't serve us and build a community that celebrates all forms of love. Because at the end of the day, everyone deserves to find happiness, regardless of what the headlines say.